What's up, guys? Matt here coming at you with a brand new Hosim four-wheel drive brushless truck. We're going to be checking this thing out. They reached out, asked if I wanted to check it out. I said, sure. Like, I'm all about trying new things, new trucks, new RCs. Let's run it. Let's beat it up. So this is four-wheel drive. It's brushless. It says here powder metallurgy gears. So I guess metal gears. CVD metal drive shaft, 6 kg servo, 3650 brushless motor, 85 amp brushless ESC, 2 to 3S capable, and it comes with the 3S Lipo in it. So we've got this nice looking box on the inside as well. We've got this pack here that has our manual, a little tool bag, that's cool, extra Velcro, we've got a charger, and some extra parts. We've got a Phillips head screwdriver, wheel wrench, 2 Phillips screwdrivers, an Allen wrench, extra wheel nuts, extra body pins. So nice that they give you a few extras. If this is your first RC or something like that, you don't always have extra body pins. You lose one, what are you going to do? So this thing looks pretty good out of the box. It's got a nice wing on it. We'll see how durable this bumper is. It kind of sticks way out there, so I'm a little worried about that. These buggies take a lot of hard hits sometimes, the way I send them. This does seem to be around 8th scale. This is my TLR tuned Typhon, which is considered 8th scale buggy and pretty close in size. So taking a quick look under the body, we've got a lot of shiny parts going on here, which is kind of a good thing. This is all pretty beefed up, it looks like. We've got all aluminum shocks with aluminum shock caps. Everything is aluminum under here. Blue aluminum A-arms. The steering blocks and knuckles and everything's all aluminum. We've got actual turnbuckles with adjustable rod ends on them, metal drive shafts or axles, metal shafts going down the center, this nice chassis brace across the top. All of this metal on the motor mount and heat sink and everything is going to help dissipate any heat off of that motor. We've got a fan on the motor, a fan on the ESC. So this does have Dean's connectors on the ESC, and it comes with a 2600 mile 3S pack. As far as the transmitter goes, it's got a nice foam wheel on it. You can see, unfortunately, mine has this big, huge dent in it where it was packaged. Hopefully that will expand back out. It actually don't feel bad grabbing it like that. It's just got this different feel. We've got a forward reverse trim, a percentage trim, and a left right trim. So I guess our forward reverse, percentage trim, maybe the amount of steering we have, like a steering dual rate, and left right trim is steering trim. Steering reverse, throttle reverse, on off switch. Pretty basic, but it does have a decent feel to it. It is one hand drivable very easily. So this looks like a pretty beefy little car. Only real issue I see is all of the Phillips screws. I'd kind of like to see Allen head screws, but besides that, the thing looks pretty dang solid. We've got a wheelie bar out back, nice wing up here. Looks like that wheelie bar is gonna work, hopefully. Some of these trucks, the wheelie bars are so short that when they do pop that wheelie, they'll just loop out anyways. But here you've got the wheelie bar that hits slightly before the wing. Probably gonna drag the back off that wing a little bit, but we'll have to see if this thing really actually wheelies or not. Let's just go run it, beat it up, see what it can handle. So I took this thing out for a quick bash on the driveway just to kind of see how it handled the rock and just handled overall and the speed and power that it had. One thing is you'll probably want to trim the body a little bit in the front. You'll hear every now and then right there, you kind of hear that. That's the front tires. They rub on the body when you're at full turn. So you probably want to trim a little bit off of that. Besides that, it ran really well. It's got good power. It doesn't wheelie like crazy, but at times if you are in the throttle and you hit a bump or something, it'll pop up, which is really cool and pretty fun. And overall, I mean, I bashed this thing pretty good. This thing is a $300 RC, so you're getting close to, like, you could pick up a used, Traxxas or something like that, or you could put another $100 with it, maybe get a new /4x4 or something like that. So I really wanted to push this thing to the max, and it drove great here on the gravel. You can see popping those wheelies, a lot of fun, handled really well. I took it to the dirt in the backyard and had a lot of fun right there in the dirt, and that's where I really enjoyed this thing. Here, the grass is very high, thick. I was getting ready to mow the grass actually and thought, let's run this thing in the tall grass, see how it does, you know. And the four-wheel drive really makes this possible. It makes it to where you can take this thing pretty much anywhere. This has an 85 amp ESC and a 3650 kV motor, I believe it is. And I really had no heat issues. But if you're running a lot in tall grass like this on the 3S, really in the throttle, I would definitely keep an eye on your motor temps. One easy way to check that is just to take the body off or reach underneath the body. If you can put your fingers on that motor for more than 3 to 5 seconds, you're usually good. If you can't hold your finger on it for at least 3 seconds, probably 5, you're getting too hot. You know, if the best way to check that is to get a little miniature temp gun. I'll link one in the description that I've had for 10 plus years. Works great, but you can always do the old school, put your thumb on it, you know. You'll see here, it jumps really well. It's got good power and throttle control. It's able to, you know, jump just fine. And then the brake works well if you're, you know, kind of airing it out a little too much. You need to tap that brake to bring the front end down. It definitely can handle well in the air. So it's a lot of fun to jump on jumps like this, and just a ton of fun to bash around on the dirt for sure. So if you have a dirt spot or a little mini basher track like I've been working on here, this is a great little truck. And I didn't really have any issues. The servo was strong. I never felt like it wasn't steering. You know, sometimes you get a truck and you're just like, it's not doing what I want. It seemed like it steered fine. It drove fine. I did end up breaking a rod end, and it was kind of an oddball size, one that I didn't have on hand. I looked up the stock replacement part. It was $9.99 for both front steering links, which is where it broke. So I'm going to order those or order some of the same length to replace it and go with something like a Traxxas or RPM rod end. That is something I have on hand. I had zero issues while out running this on normal bashing conditions. You know, the dirt track here and the grass and the gravel. It was when I sent it off the deal breaker, basically is what I'm calling the thing. It's a large jump, and it pretty much breaks every RC that's sent off of it. When I sent it off of that is when I had the issue, and I kind of expected something to break, and that's why I test it. I want you guys to know the weak point. So that's when it broke. I got about 20 minutes of runtime off of the stock included battery. I'll put another battery in the description that would work well with this truck, and maybe a quick charger, because I'd say with the charger that came with it, you're looking at least an hour or so, I'd say, to probably charge this battery. I didn't use it. I never do. I just pick up a cheap charger off of Amazon or somewhere, and I charged this thing in like 15 minutes. Actually, I charged it at a very high amp, but it got it done quick. So I'll link all of that in the description. I'll let you guys check out the damage here. And it's a really solid truck. It's just approaching that price range that I would almost prefer to go to my local shop that's going to have a Traxxas or something like that I could pick up and get parts for very easily. If you have a shop in your town, you know, something like this breaks, you just run up there and get the replacement part. I did check Amazon, and the parts are pretty readily available. I looked up 4 different parts, and they were all on there. These steering links that broke the rod end, you just buy the entire link and everything. It was like $9.99 for both fronts. But it is kind of approaching that higher tier price range, and that's where it's a tough decision. So that's kind of up to you. You decide. If you're like me and you don't have a local shop, then maybe you just pick this up and order your parts like I always do. But if you have a local shop, maybe you want to go there. That's kind of up to you guys. But I appreciate you watching. I'll let you check out the damage, and more to come. Peace. So I'm trying to replace this rod end, and I have a lot of different rod ends. This is not even all of them that I've tried. I have some like M2s that fit the Red Cat Ascent because they are smaller threads, but even those just don't fit this. They like push on. They don't thread on. You can see I just pushed that on there. So there's some very small threads on these. So I'm not saying there's not rod ends that fit that. I just don't have any. And I've tried a lot of different rod ends here, and none of them work. Most of these are M3s, but I do have some M2s, and they're not fitting either. So I'm just going to push this one on, try to put this back together to get some more running out of it.